No, no, no. I need you to get wide like them fellas on TV. How wide? Haven't you seen those fellas on TV? You gotta copy the fellas on the TV. Like this? Ooh, yeah, yeah, that's nice and wide. Now you can really hit like the fellas on TV. Nice, nice. How'd that feel? Well, it was kind of hard to shift my weight. Aren't we supposed to shift our weight? You son of a. Baseball stances are a thing of wide variance. We see all different kinds, but what's right? Well, in today's video, we're going to bust the myth that you have to have a wide, stable base when you're hitting, and we're going to show you exactly why. Let's go ahead and get started. Guys, we got a ton of great content coming out this year, and if you don't want to miss out, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's the only way you can get notified. Also, hit that thumbs up button. That really helps us grow the channel. And if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Sewell would love to hear from you. Now, I'm sure all you guys out there at home are wondering, where am I going with this? Every single guy that I see on TV has a nice wide stance. And, all the big leaguers have wide stances. Well, not all of them, actually, but a lot of them have these big wide stances. And you're saying that this is a myth, that we don't want to do this when you've got all these high-level players doing this. Well, there are a lot of high-level players, but you can be a high-skilled player with faulty mechanics. I can have not the greatest swing and still hit a home run. What we're going to talk about today is the myth of why we don't want a wide stance. And the simple reason is it doesn't allow us to get an efficient weight shift. And what that simply means, guys, to get an efficient weight shift, we have to understand one thing. Everybody wants to get a good weight shift in their swing. You want a good weight shift in almost anything you do in sports. If I'm trying to shift into a punch for boxing, or I'm trying to bowl, I want my weight to shift onto my left foot. If I'm trying to hit a tennis serve, I want my weight to shift. If I'm trying to throw, if I'm a pitcher and I'm trying to throw a pitch, obviously I don't want my weight back here throwing. I want my weight to shift. Anything we do athletically, we want some momentum. We have to get a shift. But the one thing that a lot of people don't know is, what are we trying to shift? What exactly shifts our weight? Well, it's a very simple concept, and if we understand it, we can understand why we don't want to have a super wide stance when we're hitting. What we need to shift our weight is simply called our center of mass. Our center of mass is located 2 inches below our belly button. It's in the center of our body. Everybody has one. Wherever our center of mass is, so must our weight be. If I want to shift my weight onto my right foot, I have to shift my center of mass over onto my right foot. If you're just standing straight up and down and you want to rest on your one leg and you want to put your hand on your hip, you have to shift your center of mass. This is how we shift our weight. Now we look at this in application to the baseball swing. If I have a very wide stance, I need to move my center of mass to my lead foot in order to get an efficient weight shift. Well, obviously, when I get a wide stance, the distance between my foot and my center of mass is enormous. I've got a long ways to go in order to get an efficient weight shift. And this is why we see a lot of players with almost no weight shift. And this is why you see a lot of big leaguers with their back foot coming off the ground, because they're trying like maniacs to shift their weight. And they do get a little bit of a shift, but it's very inefficient if we're talking about getting everything we want to get out of our swing. If I want to shift my weight, I have to get my center of mass on top of my foot. So what's right? How do we want to stand? Well, we want to stand at the plate in a way that we can efficiently get our center of mass on top of our lead foot, so we can get a full weight transfer. If we are too wide, we can't physically get onto our lead foot without picking the back foot up way off of the ground. And if our center of mass never gets on top of our lead foot, we never get what we call a full weight transfer. So the bottom line, guys, here is, if we are wide, we are stable, but we can't move very well. We lose our mobility. If our feet are together or close together, I have a lot of mobility, but I'm not very stable. We want to have the best of both worlds. We want to have a stance that's wide enough for us to be stable, but also narrow enough for us to be able to get an efficient weight transfer, which again, we now know we want to move our center of mass on top of our lead foot. So that stance width is going to be roughly around your shoulder width after we stride. So when you take your load stride position, we're going to be just a little bit wider than shoulder width. This is going to give me plenty of room so I can now shift my weight. Now, how do we start working on this? Well, the best way to start working on your weight shift, obviously, is to now that we know what we want to move, is to narrow up our stance, because I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have really wide stances. We're going to narrow up our stance, and we're going to hold our finish, and we're just simply going to look and see where our belt buckle is when we finish. So you can imagine a belt buckle is right in the center of your body. It's not exactly on your center of mass, but it's lined up with it. So when we finish, we simply want that belt buckle on top of our lead foot. So I highly recommend, after you kind of get comfortable with your stance, which is, it's going to feel a lot different. A lot of you guys out there are going to feel like you're standing straight up and down. You're just going to make some easy swings, and you're going to hold your finish. So we're going to make a swing. We're going to hold our finish, and I'm going to check to see if my belt buckle is on top of my lead foot. Where a lot of guys goof up is, instead of getting their belt buckle on top of their lead foot, they get their chest on top of the lead foot. So there's a big, big difference. If my chest goes, my center of mass stays in between my feet. We want to get our center of mass on top of our lead foot. So we're simply going to hold our finish. And if you mess it up, let's go ahead, I'll show you one like that where my chest leads. Okay, let's say we swing something like that. I know it looks a little goofy. Hold your finish. See if your belt buckle's on top. If it's not, go ahead and shift it over, fix it, hold it, see where that spot is, and then on your next swing, see if you can get it to where your belt buckle finishes on top. I'll show you what it looks like from down the line. Again, I want to start off with just nice, easy swings with a much more narrow stance than I'm used to. And I'm working on moving my center of mass on top of my lead foot. And I'm checking till it's on top. Now, guys, if we can start understanding that that's how we want to shift our weight, and we can start getting this into our finish, we can start speeding it up and really start to get the force of our body to start hitting the ball at the same time as the bat. Guys, if we can time those two things up, we've got a nuclear explosion. Now, guys, I got a great bonus for you. If you click on the iCard or the link in the description below, I'm going to play one of my best weight shift videos from the membership website that you can see absolutely free of charge. It's going to coincide directly with this video. It's going to help you start getting that shift into the ball with some precision so that you can maximize your output. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to now start showing how our weight shift is involved with the release of the bat. We just simply need to understand exactly where we want to be in our weight shift. So we're going to get a lot more specific. We're going to be talking about the timing of getting the back pocket in front of the tee at the same time we're hitting the ball. But the first thing we need to do, guys, is we need to rep this out and make sure that we can definitely get the weight transfer that we need. So we're going to put our arms across our chest. We're going to get at least 100 repetitions